morning. Hope you had a good week. Happy Friday. Last week, I talked about my alcoholism when I knew I couldn't control it anymore. So that's alcoholism or addiction. And if you didn't get a chance to watch the video and you're struggling in that area, I encourage you to check it out on Fork Freedom. Check out that video. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I did with that information when I finally realized it. It was July 4th, 2014, Independence Day, ironically, I will add. Not that I planned it that way, but I woke up at 5 in the morning to someone pounding on my door. And I opened my eyes and they had that kind of that tear-stained film. And I looked around, it was completely unfamiliar to me. And I realized where I was. I realized that I had fallen asleep crying. And I remembered that I had checked myself into rehab the night before. Me, into rehab. Me, the rule follower. Me, the person who didn't like to upset people, who tried to be the good girl, who had 6-year-old triplets, for the love of God. Me. Yeah, alcohol doesn't care about any of that. No, not so much. Alcohol made me a liar, made me a cheat, made me selfish, and everything else. I was not caring about rules or people or my 6-year-old triplets. So I was in rehab, but how, that's kind of a stretch, right? I went from admitting it a couple of weeks prior to being in rehab. So here's what happened. I had been going to a therapist for years and years and years, and I would go and I would complain about every area of my life and, kind of cry victim. And the alcohol piece, the drinking piece was always an undertone, but I never really addressed it in therapy. I found that once I verbalized in the car that day, again, that's my last week's video, once I said, I can't control it, I'm an alcoholic, it was a lot easier for me to start saying it. It's like I just needed to say it that one time and get a little bit comfortable with it. And so I shared that with my therapist. I think alcohol's behind all of this drinking, and I think the bubble above her head was like, it's about time. But I finally came to that conclusion, and she introduced me to the drug and alcohol counselor, and I gave my 5-minute spiel about what I've been up to. And I'm still thinking, she's going to say I'm fine. She's going to, and she starts talking about rehab. And I'm, rehab? What? Wait, do you think I'm an alcoholic? Hell yeah, was her response. And you really shouldn't, you can't detox on your own, because here's the thing. By the time I had gotten to her, I wasn't only drinking. I was double dipping with benzos. Klonopin, kind of think Xanax. Both of them are depressants. Both of them can shut down your central nervous system. So every night when I was passing out on the couch, I may not have woken up. I didn't realize that. I didn't really care to realize that. I just wanted it to go away. I just wanted the pain to stop. Again, going back to the selfishness that I talked about earlier. But it scared me enough to think of those triplets, those 6-year-old boys finding me like that. So she talked about me needing to detox in a safe place, because of seizures, things like that. And, everything in me said, how on earth are you going to just pick up and go to rehab? You're a mom, you have work responsibilities. I was leading a training the next week at work and all of that. I had every excuse in the book because I was so needed, right? Yeah, I was really needed being passed out on the couch. And everybody rallied around me, my husband, leading the charge to make it happen for me. And so I admitted myself the night of July 3rd. And the thing I had going for me from the start, and this is important, is I kept on thinking I had ran things into a ditch doing things my way. My way got me a lot of empty feelings, got me, I was depressed, I was anxious, I was obviously using anything I could to feel better. My way didn't work. My way got me in rehab. Maybe, just maybe, I should listen to somebody else who has a better way. And so I threw myself into rehab. I mean, I took full advantage of it. I listened, I tried, and I took that outside of rehab then, into the meetings and things like that. And so 2 things. If you feel that you're at a point where you can't control your addiction, whatever it is, you need to ask for help. You need to admit it and ask for help. My first request would be to God. It's amazing how coincidences fall into your path once you do that. Even if you feel like it's the biggest foxhole prayer, it may just help. There's a lot of resources to help you, online, things like that. To go to an AA meeting, there's one requirement to get in the door of an AA meeting: a desire to stop drinking. I'm pretty sure that goes for all the 12-step meetings. So a desire to stop. So it's a pretty easy requirement. And you can do that. And then the second one, and this is key. This is the big one, the willingness piece. You got to be willing, because you got to be willing to listen, willing to try, willing to get uncomfortable. Because I got to tell you, it's going to get uncomfortable. You're learning new skills. You're learning a whole different way. It's going to be uncomfortable. And I didn't do discomfort, right? I'd much rather, that's why I was passed out on the couch. It's going to get uncomfortable, but I will guarantee you, if you do those 2 things, if you ask for help and you are willing, I will guarantee you, that's a pretty bold statement, I will guarantee you a better way of life. So that is all I have for today. Another uplifting video, but you have a great weekend.